I'm sorry I haven't posted for a month because I've just been so busy with my other priorities in life. But now I'm here and I'm going to be talking about epilepsy because it is actually National Epilepsy Awareness Week. It's all throughout September 1st up until September 7th. And I haven't really talked about this yet, but I do have epilepsy. So I'm just going to be talking about my own experience because obviously I can't talk about others, and I don't think I can thoroughly, talk about epilepsy as a whole because I'm not an expert. So I'm just gonna share with you what I have gone through and is still going through. So here we go. So my type of seizures or epilepsy is called simple partial seizures or focal onset seizures. There's really a lot of names to it, but let's just stick with simple partial seizures. This means that the seizure happens only on one side of my brain. Unlike with other people, it happens on both sides of their brains. But for me, as I've said, it only happens on one side. And it's called simple because I do not lose my consciousness when I am being attacked by it, because a lot of people actually, they become unconscious when they are having a seizure attack. But as for me, I can remember what happened before the attack, while the attack is happening, and also after the attack, I do know what happened before that. So you can say that my seizure, my epilepsy isn't as bad, I'd say, but nonetheless, it's still an epilepsy, so And by the way, I just want to differentiate seizures from epilepsy first, because some people get it twisted and are getting confused about it. I've also actually gotten really confused on what their differences are, but according to our friend Google, seizures are something that could happen to anyone really. If you have experienced having a head injury or a really high fever, just anything that can disrupt your brain function, you may experience a seizure, but it can be an isolated case, which means that it will just happen one time. It's not going to be like a permanent thing, unlike with epilepsy, that is the actual neurological disorder. And that's what I have. So when you have epilepsy, you will have seizure attacks that are unpredictable, and you can have these seizure attacks for years. But for me, I've had it since I was 15, I think. Yeah, since I was 15, and now I'm 19, so I've had it for 4 years. Actually, my neurologist and I have been waiting for me to be seizure-free for a whole 2 years straight while I'm on medication, but it has not happened yet. I still get attacks every now and then, so I still have a long journey ahead with my medication. But anyway, I now want to talk about what it looks like, because here in the Philippines, the media portrays it so differently, and people end up thinking that that's how all epilepsy attacks look like, and that's not true at all. Because with me, what I experience, first of all, I don't faint, I don't plop down in the floor. Mostly it starts with my mouth. I start shaking like that. I don't know how to recreate my seizure, sorry. And then my cheeks start to jerk like that, and then my eyes start to blink abnormally or like quite rapidly like this, and then my head starts to bob like that. And next would be my shoulders. It would like go like that, and then sometimes my left hand also does this. And Actually, they all come in a package. They don't happen one at a time. Like, all of them just happens in one sitting. And I guess I can call that my severe attack, because sometimes, or actually most of the time, it's only my mouth that like shakes. So that's kind of what happens most of the time. But just recently, from my last neuro visit, my doctor told me that I may have a different kind of seizure, which is a bit more severe, I guess, a bit worse than what I already have right now, because my seizures or my epilepsy is manifesting in different ways, not only through, you know, like shaking and whatever, but I have experienced tripping all of a sudden. Like, I'm walking and then I forget, or my brain just starts, I don't know, buffering, and then I would stop walking and just trip. And sometimes it also happens with my hands. For example, if I'm holding an object, I would suddenly just lose my grip. They just kind of forget to be limbs. That's how I could describe it, I guess. And also during conversations, I would start zoning out. Like, for a couple seconds, I would literally forget what next words to say. Good thing my friends do not actually notice. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't really care or notice that I have zoned out and forgot what I was saying, or that I was in a conversation with them. And so yeah, hopefully though I do not have it, because if that was the case, I would need to be under medication for my whole life. But anyway, now I'm gonna be talking about when these attacks happen, or why they happen. So for me, usually these seizure attacks happen when there are flashing lights. So I can't really go to parties because I will, who knows what could happen to me there. Also, when I have had a caffeine intake, although that doesn't happen as much now because I have cut off caffeine in my life, because my mom is going to kill me if I did drink coffee. But I still kind of do drink coffee, pero decaf, para sure. And I also can't drink, or try to steer away from milk tea, because tea also has caffeine in it, which is really sad. But sometimes I cheat. I still drink milk tea, but not often. It mostly happens now when I am extremely stressed, or I have exerted a lot of effort into doing something, or I have felt an extreme emotion. I remember one time I was having lunch with my friends at school, and we were just laughing at a joke. I remember laughing so hard at the joke because it was so funny. And then I just started having a seizure attack right then and there. And they were also worried because it was my severe seizure attack. So yeah, fun times. They didn't know what to do. I also didn't know what to do. They just looked at me. Because really, that's pretty much what you have to do. Just wait it out. Wait for the attack to end. But of course, for extreme cases, there are a set of first aid procedures that you need to do, and may also need to call the ambulance. So I'm going to try to leave a link down below as to the first aid things that you need to do if you see someone having an extreme epileptic attack or seizure attack. I think that's pretty much it for my experience. So as you have hopefully observed or learned, that epilepsy looks like a whole lot of different things, and so I hope that we can all be a little kinder to people around us. Just one thing that I feel like we all have to stop doing is joking around about having an epileptic attack, because it's no joke. It's hard to be living with this kind of disorder and it's not like we chose to have this. Like, as for me, I don't even know what caused my seizures. I have gone through MRI before, but they didn't really see any abnormalities in my brain. I don't have a tumor or whatever. So the least thing that others can do is really to, I guess, be less judgmental of people. And if you can't really help for some reason, or you just can't understand what's happening, what's best to do is to just not make people feel uncomfortable. Because I know it looks weird when someone has a seizure attack or is having a seizure attack, but please just like, don't give them a disgusted stare, or that kind of stare that implies that you're thinking that that person is being possessed by a demon, because that ain't true. This is an actual disorder in the brain. We just have an abnormal electrical activity, and you don't really have a free pass to judge us. And just in general, you don't have a free pass to judge people around you, because you yourself is also flawed and you don't really know what other people are going through. So be kinder, be more mindful of your actions. That is pretty much it for this video. I hope that you have learned a thing or two about epilepsy, what it is, what it isn't, and yeah, spread the word to other people so that here in the Philippines we will have a more welcoming, I guess, environment for people who have this kind of disorder, and just really to make the world a better place for each and every one of us. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching me blabber on through this whole thing, and I hope to see you guys sometime soon. Goodbye for now.